Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone from the channel. This recipe for leaf cheese, which is the pearl of the East, is also known as lavash cheese. Leaf cheese is made in many cities in the East, and making it naturally without any additives is a great way to prepare homemade leaf cheese. I wish you all a good viewing. Of course, for this we have organic milk that has not been processed in any way. You can also make this with the milk of small livestock if you prefer. Since I will make this using natural methods, of course, when the raw milk reaches above 45 degrees, I use the sour whey that I have always kept on hand. If you ask what this sour whey is, it is the green liquid that remains under the curdled milk, which is a type of liquid that is left behind after the milk has curdled and separated from the solid parts of the milk. You let it sour there, and it turns into vinegar after about 15 days. As you can clearly see in this process, after the milk in the pot reaches a temperature above 45 degrees Celsius, I gradually and carefully pour in that sour whey. By the way, it wasn't just whey. You can also use sour buttermilk, or the whey that comes from strained yogurt. While I don't highly recommend it, you can use store-bought vinegars or homemade vinegar, which is of course natural. I mix it slowly, and I keep doing this until I see the green liquid, indicating that the milk is fully curdled. But since there is already quite a bit of curdled cheese, I first strain it and keep the remaining whey in a jar. I keep adding it gradually until my milk is fully curdled. And as I said, the cheese will curdle, and I will see the yellow liquid. Now it's time to move on to the melting stage. At first, until the milk curdles, the temperature of my milk reaches up to 65 degrees. Once it goes above 65 degrees, I take it off. This means it is fully curdled. As you can see, I have finished draining the first batch, and the whey is still boiling on the side. I do not turn off the heat. The whey should not boil vigorously, friends. If you melt your cheese in boiling water, it will become very hard because all the fat goes into the water, which gives softness to the cheese. Since it is lost, your cheese will be a bit tough, like a rubber band. It will slowly burn your hand, but there's nothing to be done about it. If it's cold, your cheese won't melt and will become grainy. The second stage has boiled. The whey has boiled. The whey is boiling. As you can see in the second stage, I will now melt my cheese in 2 or 3 batches. The whey is boiling. I have slightly reduced the heat under the curds. Friends, I brought it to the lowest setting and I am not turning it off. I am bringing a teaspoon of milk and adding it with 2 wooden spoons, melting it as if I am layering it from the bottom to the top. Just like how we fold sourdough bread, we fold our cheese until it becomes smooth. Boil for 1 to 1.5 minutes. And as you can see, this second boiling part is also finished. For the third boiling part, I shape my cheeses into a ball again and make them smooth once more. Sometimes, due to the folds, there are pieces of cheese that haven't melted yet, like threads. When I open those parts, the heat will reach them, and those parts will also melt. I am adding whey to the mixture for the purpose of melting. Whey is a byproduct of cheese production and contains proteins that help in the melting process, giving the cheese a smooth texture. If you prefer, you can also boil regular tap water and use it in the same way. Boiling water can be an effective method to achieve a similar result, as the heat helps in breaking down the proteins in the cheese, allowing it to melt evenly. However, as I mentioned earlier, to preserve the unique flavor of my own product, I choose to boil it again in my own way. This step is crucial because the whey retains the essence of the cheese, enhancing its taste and ensuring that the final product has a rich and authentic flavor. Additionally, I always make my cheeses with Shirden yeast, as followers of the recipe know. Shirden yeast is a traditional ingredient that plays a vital role in the cheese-making process. It helps in the fermentation, contributing to the development of the cheese's texture and flavor profile. The cheese has become smooth, and I am adding dry salt to the leaf cheese. Adding dry salt is an important step as it not only enhances the flavor, but also acts as a preservative, helping to extend the shelf life of the cheese. The salt draws out moisture, creating an environment that inhibits the growth of unwanted bacteria, ensuring that the cheese remains fresh and safe to consume for a longer period. This meticulous process of cheese making, from using whey for melting to adding Shirden yeast and dry salt, is what makes the cheese unique and delicious. And after cutting, I applied dry salting on all of them. As you can see, the top side is drying a bit now. After it dries, I turn my cheeses one by one to salt the bottom side as well. 5 teaspoons of salt, and these will wait overnight until morning. On one hand, the cheeses are drying and hardening, and all the remaining moisture is coming out, leaving only the cheese. As you can see, my leaf cheese is ready. You can place the leaf cheese between your lavash bread and enjoy it. We add a liter of milk. If you prefer, you can bury it in the ground. And you can consume it after many years or months. It doesn't need brine or further dry salting. I salted enough at the beginning. If you want unsalted cheese, then don't add any salt at all. If the weather is cold, you can keep it in your refrigerator or in a place that is not warm in your kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and click the like button. You can place it, but since it is unsalted cheese and does not have brine, it will spoil very quickly. It will cause yellowing and odor. Therefore, I recommend consuming it this way, quickly. Thank you for watching. See you in the next recipes. Goodbye.